Welcome to a new episode of Iron Mind, your podcast for mental strength and resilience. Today we're discussing a topic everyone can relate to in daily life: emotional control. In a chaotic and often stressful world, the ability to consciously manage our emotions is invaluable. But how can we achieve that? Stoic philosophy provides us with a clear path to mastering this control. The Stoics, philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus, taught that it's not the external circumstances that determine our emotions, but how we evaluate those circumstances. Epictetus once said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about these things." In other words, we have the choice of how we respond to situations. And that's the key to emotional control. It's not what happens, but how we think about it that determines our emotional experience. How to develop emotional control. So, how do we apply this understanding in everyday life? There are several techniques that can help us manage our emotions instead of being overwhelmed by them. 1. Conscious breathing. One of the simplest and most effective techniques is conscious breathing. Next time you find yourself in a stressful situation and feel anger or fear rising, pause for a moment. Focus solely on your breathing. Take a deep breath through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. This simple technique calms your nervous system and gives you a moment of clarity before reacting impulsively. 2. Negative visualization. Another powerful Stoic technique is negative visualization. Imagine the worst-case scenario. It may sound strange, but this exercise mentally prepares you for potential setbacks. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Expect the unexpected." By preparing for the worst, you take away the situation's power to overwhelm you. If the worst happens, you're ready. And if it doesn't, you'll feel relieved. 3. Distancing. Sometimes our emotions are so intense that it's difficult to stay objective. In those moments, the technique of distancing can help. Imagine you're observing the situation as a neutral bystander. How would you evaluate the event if you weren't directly involved? What advice would you give a friend in your situation? This distancing allows you to put your emotions into perspective and make more rational decisions. Anger and frustration. One of the most common emotional challenges we face is anger or frustration. Maybe someone has hurt you, or you're facing an obstacle that seems insurmountable. In those moments, it's easy to give in to anger. But Seneca said, "Anger is brief and blind, the worst form of foolishness." Anger clouds our judgment and often leads us to say or do things we later regret. Instead of letting anger take over, pause and ask yourself, what do I gain from this anger? In most cases, anger only causes us to lose control, not only over the situation, but also over ourselves. Emotional control takes practice. Emotional control is not a skill that we develop overnight. It requires practice, patience, and self-reflection. But the more we work on it, the easier it becomes to manage our emotions instead of being ruled by them. The great thing is, you can apply these techniques anywhere, whether at work, at home, or in a stressful situation. Remember, true strength lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in controlling your response to them. When you learn to master your emotions, you'll find that you remain calmer in difficult moments and make clearer, more thoughtful decisions. Conclusion. I encourage you to take a moment today to reflect on what triggers your emotions. What situations throw you off balance? What could you do differently next time? Try one of the techniques we discussed today, whether it's conscious breathing, negative visualization, or distancing. Thank you for joining me on Iron Mind today. I hope you've gained valuable insights to help you better control your emotions. If you enjoyed this episode, follow us for more inspiration and practical tips on building mental strength and emotional control. Until next time, and remember, True control lies within your mind.